Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimiller, and yeah, we're getting ready to talk about June of 2026. It's I think it's going to be a really good month. It's going to be a bit of a more positive energy than things have been feeling. It's going to be a little lighter, a little less heavy. There's some really good transits this month. So let's just jump on in. So for June, we're headed into the 6th month of the year. I cannot believe how quickly this year is even flying by. I don't know where it's going. It's going so quickly. Because I feel like I finish a newsletter and then it's like time to write the next one. Anyways, if you receive my newsletter, I sent out a special newsletter on the transit of Jupiter that is going to be transiting into Cancer on June 2nd. So go ahead and check that out. It should have hit your inbox on Wednesday, May 27th. If you do not receive my newsletters, you should sign up below so you don't miss out on the special newsletters like that I send out when big planets change signs. So when Saturn changes signs, when Jupiter changes signs, when the nodes change signs. So this month we have Jupiter changing. We will have the nodes changing in November. So there'll be another special newsletter then. And it's not too late to sign up. So, um, one of the things that I want to say is that I will not be doing sign predictions in this video like I normally do because I did the Jupiter sign predictions for what each of the 12 signs can expect for that transit. So go ahead, check that video out. This one's just going to be key dates in June to pay attention to. So let's just jump on in. June 1st to 5th, we will have what is called an Adahi Yoga. This is super auspicious yoga, just very lovely. It occurs when the benefic planets Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter are in the 6th, 7th, or 8th house from the moon in some variation. It's a time where you can find be financially can be financially prosperous. Wow, I cannot talk this morning. And you may find that you're able to have easier victories over obstacles that may come your way. So again, it's a really pretty transit. Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy it. We're also going to have that same planetary setup occurring again in early July as well. So enjoy the positive energy it brings. It should feel a lot lighter. June 2nd, as I mentioned, Jupiter will transit into Cancer. You can go read about that in the other newsletter. I'm not going to spend time on it here because I spent a whole video on it. June 8th, Venus will transit into Cancer. So when Venus is showing its best attributes in Cancer, it is sensitive and kind and emotionally open. It can be a period where some are frugal and become more focused on tradition and their safety. It can be a time where there's an increase in flooding and potential issues with real estate and finances, though, on the other side. So Venus transiting in Cancer, it can be a time when relationships focus more on emotional vulnerability. When Venus goes into Cancer, it is going to be transiting with Jupiter that has just entered Cancer as well. So when these two are together, it is a time to watch your budget and ensure you are not overindulging, whether it be financially, food, alcohol, things like that. On the positive side, Jupiter and Venus conjunct can be a beautiful time for relationships. Their exact conjunction will be on June 9th, but it's a very auspicious conjunction. It can be a time when some find love if they're single, or if you're in a relationship, it can be a really great time to reconnect, deepen your bond, and it can be a good conjunction for financial growth and unexpected gifts. So it's just a really magical day and period. So just enjoy it and make the most of it. June 9th, Saturn will square Mercury at 18 degrees of Saturn's in Pisces, and it will square Mercury at 18 degrees of Gemini. So this aspect can create weather and storms, especially because Saturn is transiting through the lunar mansion Revati, which is a Mercury ruled lunar mansion, and Mercury is transiting through Ardra, which is a lunar mansion known for creating storms. So there's a lot of connections to that Mercury and Ardra. Mercury is the planet of communication and travel, so it could result in seeing some storms that cause travel delays. And then it's also, if you need to have an important conversation during this date, just be sure that everyone's on the same page. So check for understanding. Under this energy, some may feel mentally fatigued. It's just going to be really important with this energy to not be overly critical of yourself or beat yourself up for past mistakes. Really take the time, step back, write down the lessons from those mistakes, and use those to learn from them because you did what you knew was best at the time. So don't beat yourself up for the past, just change it going forward. June 14th, we will have a new moon at 29 degrees of Taurus in the lunar mansion of Mrigashira. This new moon will be one that's more restless and about searching. Mrigashira is the lunar mansion of searching. So it can be a time where your creative energy is stronger to chase after your dreams, kind of that searching for what you want. But under this energy, it's really important to take the time to release anything that no longer brings you joy, recenter yourself, and focus on the activities that do bring you joy. And then I always mention that the best time to begin new projects is a couple days after the new moon occurs, as the moon begins to get a little brighter in the sky. June 15th, the sun will make its annual pilgrimage into transiting into Gemini. The first few days of this transit, we may find that there's lower self-esteem and energy, or you may find you have lower self-esteem and energy. But as Mercury moves, or as the sun moves further into Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, um, your energy is going to get stronger. This is a time of connection and fun and creativity. We can be more curious and versatile. And this is just an overall, a generally happy and beneficial transit. It's a time when social calendars can seem to really fill up and people get busy, whether it be traveling, socializing, learning, or business matters. This is also a time when some might find themselves kind of multitasking, but not actually accomplishing anything in the process. So make sure you don't have too many things going at one time. My recommendation would be make a to-do list, focus on one item at the time at a time, and kind of see that through to completion to ensure that everything gets accomplished that needs to be done. The sun in Gemini can be a bit more, it will be important to watch out for like restlessness and impatience and that strong desire to criticize others. So use caution and just be thoughtful before speaking and acting so that you don't say something you might later regret. June 20th, Mars will transit into Taurus. Taurus is going to calm down some of the energy Mars possesses. It's going to bring more stability to life under this transit. It can be a time where you find you have a more confident outlook on life because of this movement. It's really going to allow you to bring more consistency to your work and bring the ability to focus on the task at hand with little distraction. And this can be a really passionate transit as well for Mars because it will be in Venus's sign of Taurus. It can be a good energy for relationships, and Mars and Taurus can be very charming and persuasive. Now, Uranus is in Taurus as well, so Mars will slowly be moving towards an exact conjunction with Uranus on July 4th, which we will talk about more in the July newsletter. It has the potential to pack a punch, let's put it that way, because Mars is Mars and Uranus is sudden and unexpected. So just a heads up on that. June 22nd, Mercury will transit into Cancer. Yes, that's a lot of planets in Cancer. I know you're counting. We now have all of them there with all the benefics there. So I'm sure at some point you're sitting there going, Elizabeth, we haven't talked about a Mercury retrograde in a few months. I know, you'd be correct. Why? Because we're about to talk about it now. So June 29th, Mercury will station retrograde at 2 degrees of Cancer. It's going to be retrograde until July 23rd, and it's going to cross back into its own sign of Gemini. So it's kind of a nice retrograde in a way, as nice as retrogrades can be. Mercury, just as an overall, Mercury transiting in Cancer can bring higher intuition and empathy. Some may find they are more creative and have better connections with others. Now, Mercury is more analytical compared to Cancer because Cancer is ruled by the moon, which is more about feelings, which can cause a bit of a disconnect. So it's not the best. And there can be some restlessness because of this. Some people may be harder on themselves under this transit, so it's going to be really important to remember not only to give yourself grace, but to give others grace as well. If you find yourself going into negative self-talk, just shift your thinking and start focusing on all the positives. If you can't personally find the positives, talk to someone who you trust, who can help you get that positive perspective. So, as I mentioned, Mercury retrograde will retrograde back into Gemini on July 7th, and then Mercury will be back in Cancer. So it's going to do in and out of Cancer. So it'll be back in Cancer from August 5th until August 22nd. So I'll kind of remind you what Mercury in Cancer indicates when we get to August newsletter. Now, Mercury retrograde. When Mercury is retrograde, it's important to remember that while it can come with delays and setbacks, it doesn't always have to bring bad things. It's a wonderful time to take a step back, to reflect, to reevaluate your life and assess if it's headed in the direction that you want. If not, great time to reset and reorganize. We see there's a lot of RE words, right? So, as always, with any Mercury retrograde, there can be potential for miscommunications, delays, travel issues, technology issues. So, just put your patience pants on and leave extra time if you are traveling. June 29th, we also have a full moon at 14 degrees of Sagittarius. It's going to be in the lunar mansion of Purva Ashada. This can be an emotionally cleansing time. It's a full moon that brings with it the courage to release beliefs that no longer hold in your life. Full moons in general are a time to bring things to their peak and to begin to think about closing out the project and bringing it to completion before the next new moon. So, one of the things with this full moon, it can also be a good time for making decisions because you will have more discernment. So use it to your advantage. So, as I mentioned, no sign predictions on this one. Go check out Jupiter. June has a lot of positive energy. I'm really excited for June. I think it's going to be a beautiful month. Yes, Mercury is going retrograde on June 29th, but that's the end of the month, so it'll be fine. And we make everything we want in terms of like the way you see things is the way things are. If you see them negative, they're going to be negative. If you see them positive, they're going to be positive. So just keep that in mind. For now, I hope you have a wonderful June and come back and I will see everybody in July and we will do this again at that point. So until then, have a wonderful June, y'all.